We're live? Showing up on YouTube?
Hey guys, I'm Trevor Plagmeyer here.
Sorry guys. Thanks for tuning in, sticking around. We had a power overload, so we're running a cable to a different room, and I think we're good now, so...
Oh no.
Sorry for the delay. We're here. All is well. It's Friday.
I blame Trevor.
Here with all my best friends.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, that's
Today
right,
we're talking
Tyler.
about...
Yeah, Tyler.
Today we're talking about our biggest car regrets.
What episode number is this? Come on, guy, give us the official, like...
We don't remember the episode number.
My God.
It's
Do you?
102? 102?
No, it's like 104, 105.
All right.
And none of us have any regrets, so
See you guys.
obviously, yep, no, we're good to go.
I know this guy has some regrets.
Oh, get out of here, you do too.
Have you guys been watching the chat? Has anyone said regrets so far? Or
No, I
just
haven't
No,
really been
been-
seeing
they've
it.
just
I
been
s-
picking on Tim still.
Yeah, I see
My
Matthew Canatelli is making fun of me and Bo with our hard seltzers, even though he didn't even know about that stuff.
That's what I was going to say is my biggest regret is meeting Matt Canatelli.
That is a car regret.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a whole
I
topic.
mean, he has a car, so.
Oh, my God, that's freaking amazing. Oh,
He's probably saying the same about me after a full day ride in the Regal on tail.
woo, that's amazing. What's up, Brad Keys? I am back. I was here last week, too,
Yeah,
right?
people were glad we met through cars, and people were not glad we met through
Yep.
cars.
Yep. I freaking knew it. That's Canatelli. That's awesome. Speedo Jameson, Ethan Vink, what's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Yep. We
Sebastian
can't read all your
Morrison.
names because it's going so fast already, but
And Sebastian, what's up? Arcane Shadow, that's my nerd buddy right there.
Mhm.
What's up, dude?
you guys in the chat, let us know your biggest mod regret, car regret. We'll try to call them out as we see them. Other than that, anyone want to start us out?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Thanks for tuning in, sticking around. We
Whoa.
had a power overload,
You hear,
so
like,
we're running a
some-
cable
What-
to a
what
different
you got
room,
over there,
and I think we're good now, so
Oh, no.
sorry
Oh,
for the
no.
delay. We're here.
Biggest regret
All's
I
well,
have
it's Friday.
is
I blame Trevor.
a car.
Here with
So
all
a
my
car
best
that I
friends.
regret buying would.
Hello.
Yeah,
Today
that's
we're
right,
talking
Tyler.
about-
Be
Yeah, Tyler.
Today we're talking about our
You
biggest
know-
car regrets.
What episode number is this? Come on, guy, give us the official, like...
We don't remember that.
I don't think I have one.
None?
I would have to say the Ion, but I liked it a lot,
Yeah.
and I would have another one. I don't think there's any car that I would regret buying because they're all an experience. Some are just better experiences than others.
For reference, guys, I don't know if you guys remember Tyler Volt's original Ion, which we kind of made our entry-level kit on, but Tyler sold it to Bo,
Yep, and I drove it for a year, and I loved it.
and then he turned the boost up, and then he hurt it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
details.
here nor there.
Then he sold it to our now mechanic, the Ryan K,
Yeah.
who then got rid of it too. So we don't know where it's at now, right?
It's been back here at the shop. Some guys got it. It's supercharged now.
Oh, ew.
Yeah,
They
we just
unturboed
did a tune update on it last
Oh.
summer for it. But yeah, I don't think I regret buying a specific car because they've all had a good part of my life and brought me kind of to where I am now. Yeah, they've all had their ups and downs. That's for sure.
Learning
I have
experiences.
not had a car that hasn't absolutely fallen apart on me. That's one thing that I think a lot of people struggle with buying a used car is you buy a used car and it falls apart in one way or another, and then you get overwhelmed and you think it's the car's fault when it's really just
It's
part
the
of
people's
owning
fault.
a
Yeah,
used.
so-
It's
yeah.
part of owning a used car,
Yep.
especially if you're going to try and modify it and tweak it. You're going to run into things.
I mean, you got to keep in mind, like, the reason why you're buying it is because somebody else is sick of it
Yes.
for one reason or another.
No,
for sale
no,
for a reason.
You're right. Like I got told early on in my modding career, like, hey, if you buy a used car, you're buying someone else's problems because if they still liked and still wanted it, they wouldn't sell it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, like you were saying earlier, Tim, you kind of don't ever regret either because pretty much everything you've profited on. And that's just
Generally.
going into cars knowing what you can make your money back on or not.
Like, what happens with me is I'll, like, buy used cars. I'll make good money. I'll keep buying a nicer and nicer car. And then what I'll do is I'll get so much money that I buy, like, a really expensive car that's not a good deal. And then I don't love it. And then I sell it and lose money.
Isn't there a
That's
weird
what
feeling?
happens.
Isn't there a weird feeling about liking a car more because you know it's a good deal? Like
That's
I
weird.
Might be.
Yeah.
like if you have like my old Jeep, for example, it was $1,700, and I just loved that thing because it didn't matter what it did or what it was. I'm like, it's $1,700 Jeep, and I love it.
Yeah.
But if it was a $7,000 Jeep, like I sold it for,
I really wish that more people would have that mentality of like, hey, you can't expect a $1,700 Jeep to run perfectly. Like
Yeah.
you kind of have to go into it with a bit of perspective. You know, I kind of wish people would have that because people will get I bought this guy's used LSJ for $1,000 or $1,500. Why doesn't it run perfect? Rah! You know, like,
Yep. Yeah.
what did you expect, my guy? Like, you're not going to get a car. And I think on that side of the table, you two have probably had and sold the most cars
Yeah.
out of all, like,
Lots of
Tim,
cars.
rough guesstimate of how many cars you've bought and sold that you've bought.
30.
I was
That's a lot
gonna
of
say
cars.
mine's a lot, but Tim's is double mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot.
So, okay.
I'm sub 10, so
Oh, yeah. So
I normally don't buy a car unless I need it or want it real bad, and normally I keep it for five years or so.
Yeah,
And I'm the exact opposite of Bo.
Yeah, you just get a car and flip that thing immediately. So you have to have some sort of regrets with buying a car, Tim B.
I mean, I've had a lot of cars. I've owned vehicles that I thought I was going to love, and then I get it, and I'm like, I don't really love it.
Okay, so
You know,
yeah, that's a regret. Yeah, okay.
Like a Trailblazer SS. You know, I bought it. It was a good deal. You know, most of the vehicles I buy are really good deals. I profited on it when I sold it, but I bought it, and it just wasn't at all what I wanted. Like, I thought it was going to be the sporty SUV, and it just wasn't. It was a plain SUV that just had a big engine in it.
Yeah, I can
So
see
it's
it.
like, yeah, it made cool noises. It was quick, but like it wasn't sporty. Like
mean
I
to
need
te-
sporty.
You mean to tell me it was just a Trailblazer with a truck engine?
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what Trailblazer SSs are.
SS Super Sport.
Like there aren't cool seats. Like I don't know. And you know, my SL63 Mercedes was one of the cars too. You know, it's one of the cars like I bought and sold like 3 or 4 cars and worked my way up to buying this expensive car, and I got it, and everybody I knew loved it except me.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this too,
funny.
because obviously we talk a lot about the various things. Because you didn't want to buy that car originally, you kind of got pushed into that car.
Yeah, I
maybe,
had a
sir.
buddy
So
that
we had-
pushed me into it.
Yeah. So far, I think you regretted a few cars he's told you to buy that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I do appreciate the car.
Absolutely.
The car was sweet.
Yes,
I mean,
the car was sweet. I drove it
500
once.
horse NA with a dual clutch tranny. It's
Oh,
not a
sweet.
dual clutch. It's
One of those
whatever.
weird Mercedes.
It's a
Weighed 5 billion pounds. But
manual
still cool.
tranny car with no clutch pedal.
Yeah.
You know, it's not quite a dual clutch setup. It was quick. It was nice. It turned heads everywhere
Everywhere.
you went. I mean, my mom had it up to 160 on the highway once.
I remember we were all going because you had
Yeah.
Your mom did?
Yeah.
because he got his S2000 at the same time.
Yeah.
And we all went down to Import Face Off in Chicago. We all just me, him, his mom, and his dad cruised down there just for whatever. And
Yeah, she opened it up on
and
the
she
highway.
opened it up. She had his son in the car. She yeeted. We're all cruising the right lane here. Boom.
Yeah.
He's just
But it
going.
was a sweet car.
Sweet car.
It just wasn't me, I guess. And like Tyler and I are very similar, and I think maybe a little bit
Oh
of
my
Bo
God.
is when you get a car and it's a really good deal and it's even kind of a cheaper car, like there's like a certain just awesomeness to it. Like my Sonic is a small Econo box car, but I bought it for $3,500.
Oh, the
you know,
cat's going.
It was
That's
such a
one.
good deal. Obviously, I spent a lot of money on it after buying it for $3,500 and it needing like a tranny, and I of course full built it. But like, just finding a
enough.
good
It's
deal on a cheap car and then like building it into something. Tinkering is another thing I like to do.
Yeah.
Tinkering and doing that stuff is a lot of fun.
Don't look at what Matt
So-
Canatelli said in the chat, please.
Yeah, I will. It's probably something about me being old.
It is exactly something like,
Jesus.
you know. Dang it, Canatelli, get some new material.
What's
A horse and buggy, you
but no, like,
son of a gun.
Yeah. So what is so when Tim and I talk, Tim, you know, again, correct me if I'm wrong. In most cases, for a car, if you really enjoy it, you have to be able to buy like some cheap parts you can mess
Yeah.
with it there. The SL63 didn't really have that.
No, there
unfortunately.
was no aftermarket support.
Yeah, so it was just one of those cars that you got bored with it. So
Yeah.
usually,
There were no side skirts. There was no rear diffuser. There was no lip.
yeah,
Like I like, you know, I think number one is I love appearance mods. You know, and that car, like, you know, my
Affordable
base
appearance
model.
mods.
My base model, like Trevor designed up some fender inserts for it for aero. Like That I love doing that. That's awesome doing stuff like that. But you're not gonna cut fender vents into an SL63.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely
You know?
not.
Even that's one of the beauties of a base model to an SS Cobalt. Like,
Yeah.
or most around here we see nicer SSs, but the base model is kind of like hole saw in the
Yeah.
side.
Yep.
Yeah,
Listen-
I do
listen
like
here.
that. I do like that good balance of it's really nice, but like you're not afraid to tinker
Put a
with
Yeah.
it.
hole in it, or
Yeah.
There is a certain part of not giving a crap about it, kind of thing.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
something you struggle with a lot.
Oh yeah, like I care too much. That's why I can't go full, yeet machine on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Ryan Baja, get out of here. I do. Always looking and I'm always watching. Just how I'm saying anything doesn't mean I'm not there. Get out of here. Anyway, and Trevor, what about you? You haven't really talked about like, do you have any car
know.
regrets?
I
All
Or at least
of
stuff
them.
you've done to the cars or something. So you gotta have some. I know you have some.
I didn't really think because I was just kind of hosting.
Oh
but-
yeah, no. Oh no, I'm getting you
I would
involved.
say I regret most of the cars I've owned.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
They've
I'm
all
kinda
been a
in the
learning
same boat
experience?
with Bo that like I would do it again, but yeah, regret it, but learning experience, worth the time, the fun, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you've had a few cars. You had a nitrous
Hmm
06 V6
That was a good car. I love that thing.
Mustang GT.
Yep,
You had what else? You had
3000 GT. That was terrible.
yeah.
That was probably one of the worst cars.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny, and I know Tim will feel me on this one, is you will also regret or not regret a car by literally how your spouse feels about it. If you come in the door, with that new car and you're like, "Hey, sweetie, look what I got," and she's just like, "Nah."
I don't know. So there's
Or if she's like, "Let's go for a ride," like you're instantly like that'll
Yeah.
make it a major
Okay.
regret or
Yep.
a major not regret. Because
Yeah.
if the first reaction in the door is then that car's always gonna be in the back of your head a regret. Because
Kyla,
when you
don't
lay
fire
down
me.
at night,
Kyla, don't fire me for what I'm about to say, but Kyla hasn't liked any of the cars that Tim is like.
Yeah.
That's
you're-
not true. Kylo
likes the
likes the
Sonic.
Sonic.
She does
Yep.
like sign. That is true. She did not. She hated the S2K. Well, she did not want to
Yeah,
ride
she
it.
hated it.
Yeah, she did.
Well, I can't even talk about it.
well, I'm sure it's like any girl. If it's a manual, they ride like this in it.
Yeah. Yes.
and that's how
Women riding passenger in your manual tranny car has to be one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah. It's,
Like
You're like,
women
I
have the
can't drive it any smoother.
like they have the weakest necks. Like what is going on? Do you have any neck muscles?
oh, so that's why I said Kyla don't fire me, but
My wife loved the
like I
SL63.
say, the SL, she could drive the SL.
Her and Rachel took it to Grid Life.
Yeah, I remember.
Like they drove it to Grid Life,
Yeah.
and like all eyes were on both of them.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
They
Oh, yeah.
pulling this
two
tinted
girls,
out
2 women,
SL63 on 19-inch wheels,
Like
black,
balling.
black.
Oh
like,
yeah, they
blonde
they
and
were,
brunette.
They were balling.
Yep. It was pretty
Hop
awesome.
out.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that was a. But yeah, most of the other cars you got, I don't think the wife has really liked them,
No,
like at all.
I kind of ruin them. You know, I make them loud and add
that's-
solid
yeah.
motor mounts and tranny mounts and stuff. You know, and
Yeah.
it kind of, it's
She car, you car guy.
I'm getting older and smarter. Like, Ryan and I talk a
lot
lot
about
about
this.
like car stuff, and like I've kind of figured out what I like. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind having an S box that is solid mounts and vibrating and stiff if I'm racing and beating the crap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I always have to have like the daily driver mod car.
Yep.
And then that's the car, like, we get into one of these mods you regret. Man, you guys, like, be careful when it comes to choosing motor and tranny mounts.
Yeah.
Just because we sell 10 tranny mounts or motor mounts
Doesn't
for a
mean you
car
need all of them.
doesn't mean you need all of them.
But it makes the mod list longer.
Whenever I talk to a customer and they're like, what do I buy? I say, buy one mount at a time. One at a time. And there will be a point to where you're like, all right, that's enough vibration. I can't handle anymore. And you won't buy another.
Yeah. For
like
sure.
for an Ecotech, you'd start with the rotated rear trans mount.
Yep.
For a W body, you would start with the upper poly mounts and shorter dog bones. And then if you think you need more than that, then go from there. But there's no reason to be like, well, I'm going to do my motor mounts. Let me buy every single one, because they all kind of have their purpose, and most builds
Yep.
don't need them all. It's good to have them all in an all-out race application, but
For a daily driving application, there.
Yeah.
I think, especially as a few of us have gotten older here, because Bo and Trevor are the youngest here, and me, and then there's me and there's Tim. but like we have gotten to the point of like, hey, you're on your daily driver that you're not going full crazy race car. You don't need everything to vibrate. Like you just want to enjoy the drive instead of the entire time.
Generally what I do with my Cobalts is I'll run like a front and a rear tranny mount, and then that's it for daily. And then at the racetrack, like road course or drag race, I would put the engine mount in.
Yep.
Only for like that race day, and then I would take it right back out for daily driving. Because not only are you introducing vibration to the chassis of the car, is you're introducing noise.
Yeah.
Like with my Sonic, I had all the mounts, and I had that one mount that we don't sell that's an added mount that like isn't even there. It like adds a additional mount in. And like the noise through the frame of the car into the chassis was so loud. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. And then I started removing them, and I found one mount was like the noisy one. So I removed it. And then like the in-cabin noise was way quieter.
Yeah.
So yeah, like motor mounts and tranny mounts, man, you guys be careful with choosing them.
And then I would roll the regret mods right into 3-inch catbacks when you don't need them.
Yes.
Like that is so major.
Exhaust in general
I would
is-
say for our platforms across the board, if you have a blower car, don't buy a 3-inch.
I almost agree with you. Like unless it's an all-out crazy ball swell 400 horsepower 300.
I don't even know, man. We could
Maybe.
probably get away with a 2.5 inch.
So-
cab.
90% of you LNF customers keep your stock exhaust. Like the
exhaust sounds
stock
pretty
exhaust is fine.
The stock exhaust is 3-inch though.
It's under 3-inch, but like
3.7 or 3.82 is something like that. So it's barely
2.8?
under. Yeah, it's 2.82, but it's like I think the LNF is one of the cars because it has a turbo, it gets away with it, but it's one of those things that stop straight piping it.
yeah.
It's literally like I think like for instance the ZZP 3-inch exhaust is a fantastic exhaust.
Yep.
Stop getting rid of your resonator and mufflers because you want the turbo whistle is not worth the drone you get at all RPM. Guys, I promise it's just not. But
So
My big thing is I would always rather regret my exhaust being a little too quiet than a little too loud.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Because
really
you
easy
can
to make it
tolerate
louder.
quiet till you save up and get a different piece to make it louder.
Yep.
yeah, but loud it just makes the car haggardy to drive.
Yep.
I would say to kind of get with you guys on that, your touch point mods. There are certain touch point mods and things like that you don't want to get that may ruin the car for you and the ruin experience for it.
That's, for me, it's a wish I did sooner mod. In every
Yeah.
car, it's steering wheel and seats. I always
Yep.
finally bite the bullet, and I'm like, why didn't I do this the
Yes.
day I bought the car?
Yep, for
And
sure.
shift knob.
Yeah.
Shift knob.
Yep. Personally too, again, like you guys know, like I've had my cars Snowball since day one. There are certain times that I've regretted doing things, but I deal with it for all that. Like for those that know me, I've been going through like 14 different turbos. You know, because I've not decided, you know, what I want to do. And obviously I'm going through different phases. I've had through different parts of my life, and I still have it. It's the best it's ever been now. But, yeah, I mean, there's some things I regret doing to that car. And, you know, I made that car kind of a rally shitbox.
What's the worst mod you put on
the
Snowball?
worst mod I put on Snow?
Those red
I know.
wheels.
I know.
No, the red wheels are actually I liked. I like the NTO3s a lot. What is it? What do you think it is?
Those upgraded springs.
Oh, yeah.
What K were they?
Oh, my God. So, yes, I forgot it. I have so many miles in this car, I've forgotten about them. So, on my coilovers, you know, back in the day, you know, there's a few other big Ecotech guys, and I was like, man, I want to lower the car. Someone's like, yeah, you got to get Swift Spring 14K front, 12K rears. I was like, all right, I'll order them. I'll see what's up.
You had to wear a bite guard
Yes,
driving it.
literally. I remember hitting a specific bump. The car didn't move. It was boom. I remember hitting my head on the roof of the car in harnesses. I was like, gunk. Like, all right, that's it. This is done. This car. I sold him to a customer of ours. You know, I was like, dude, these are,
It made sense that you bought them because you had a splitter, a big wing. Like you have aero, and like some things that some customers might not understand is the more aero you have, the more downforce you have. The more downforce, the more weight on your suspension. So you need more spring to overcome that. So I mean, you weren't wrong for doing it. It just it just took the drivability away from the car.
That thing was a shopping cart.
You don't think drivability is important until you don't have it.
Until you don't have it. That's 100%
So like
true.
you're like, oh, it's a race car. It's my mod car. But like then it's real easy to cross over that line, and you know, for some guys it might be as simple as like switching to E85 if it's not extremely available. And we promote E85 as one of the best mods you can do, but if it's going to inconvenience you to the point where the car is no longer fun to drive, or you're
Yeah.
constantly being, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not for you. So.
I'll say number 2 on my list. I've switched seats like 4 times in that car. I bought I traded my first set of seats I bought were Cobalt LG1s. That was a mod I regret. Because the reason is I didn't really measure, like look at the measurements. That was my first set of seats I bought. So you get in, I put my back into it, and the bottom of the seat comes like here. So it's like, I can't, like I'm putting my head back. So they were like low whatever seats, but they look kind of gray like stock ones, and they were terrible, and they were not good quality. And I spilled water on them, and it stained them because they were gray. I'm like, ugh. I traded them for a set of Cobalt Forzas, which was a downgrade because they had no cushion in them. It was a set of fiberglass. They were light, but they were ugly. And yeah, and then I traded FS1 Pros and the Corbos, and then they were from there on up. I kind of just moved up, and they were good. But that is another mod that just made it terrible. Also, partial mod I regret, just a partial one, is actually putting harnesses in it. I only partially regret it.
Do you not have seatbelts anymore?
No, the seatbelt's out.
Yeah,
So-
you got to keep
that's-
both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Both.
that I agree so much. Like,
Yeah.
I actually learned that lesson from you. Like, I had a car that I put harnesses in, and then and then Ryan was like, "Keep your seatbelts,"
Keep
and
your
I did,
seatbelts.
and it was such a good move. Like,
Yeah.
nothing worse than like getting in this car, and all you want to do is just go to the gas station and get something
It's a
because it's Saturday,
project.
and you want to take your hot, cool car.
Yep.
And then you have to get in, and you're like, I guess I'm not going to wear my seatbelt.
Yeah.
And like that would suck to get in an accident that moment,
Yeah.
or get pulled over and
In that, yeah.
get a ticket for that moment.
So I mean, yes, 100%. Like I get in a snow car and I get into it, and I have to start it up, let the fuel pump prime, start it, let it idle for a second, get all the fluids moving stuff. Okay, click, 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 click. Okay, now get out of here. This and that. And then I right now in my new house's driveway is I really don't like getting out of the snow car in that. Also, another mod I actually kind of regret. I love them, but I hate them. Is also my mirrors.
Oh yeah.
'Cause they're
I've done a lot of
useless?
mods I regret in that car. I'm not going to change it back.
Well, back to that drivability point.
Yes, that's-
Drivability is so important.
Yes.
Yes.
The functionality, just the ease.
I cannot see out of the mirror on the right side of the car. I just don't. I'm in the right lane all the time because I can't see what's over there. Like if I do, I have to do a quick look back, and that's it. But yeah, I can't see,
see
like
that.
out of the right side of the car because the mirrors aren't spaced out. I mean, I probably could do something about that, but there's just all these little drivability things that it's not perfect. However, what's crazy is for some reason that car has all the mounts, and for some reason it does not rattle like crazy. Like Trevor's been in, and he's like, "Wow, this doesn't feel like a race
Yeah.
car." I'm like, "I know, it's just this car's magic. I don't know what's up with that."
Well,
But-
like I think your Alcantara wrapped does a ton for
It
Cobalt.
does because I have my steering wheel
Yeah.
or my
You're not wrong.
Because the
dash.
Cobalts like to do the
Yep.
thing.
and
Yeah.
the
And it's a fabric, so it's absorbing sound and
Yeah, the whole dash is sound deadened, technically.
chat's going again. We have to keep pressing.
yeah.
Stop pressing.
Well,
Still
cars,
have full
cars, you're
carpet, full everything.
Yeah,
like,
full carpet,
yeah.
everything. Like I'm actually trying to do a cool carpet project before Weckfest, April 30th. I'm gonna try to dye that carpet and go put it in before then. We'll find out. We'll see if it happens. But got a lot of stuff to do.
Did you get a second carpet?
I do.
Okay,
out
good.
Out of
Good.
Tyler's
Good.
car. So
Good. 'Cause
another
you're gonna
OEM carpet.
want to back up
Oh, I know.
for sure, because it's gonna be hard to lay red over charcoal.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna clean up and spray a lot of red now. So yeah, guys, I'm cool thing. I'm trying to do a red carpet, kind of Honda style, in the Snowball. So we'll see how it goes.
Do you guys have any events you regret doing or wish you did? Or things you did at events? Or
Things-
maybe, Tim, like, is there a car you wish you could have raced instead of just dailied?
I've had a lot of cars in my past before I was introduced to road course racing that I
Yeah.
wish I would have.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a Mitsubishi Starion like back in the mid 2000s. I really regret not keeping that car. I mean, that was even 4-cylinder turbo rear wheel drive, and that car was way ahead of its day. It had like climate controls on the steering wheel.
Oh yeah, the Starions and the Conquest back then, they were way ahead of the time.
Yeah.
To quickly answer a question, Connor. I have a custom dash that was built for the car, and then I had it done at a local upholstery shop. It cost way too much money back in the day. But yeah,
it looks like it, and it's held up.
it's held up fantastically. I don't regret
Basically, he removed the dashboard and then put suede on it.
Yeah,
And
I-
then put it back in, and it was very nicely done, and
Yeah.
it looks like a luxury car dashboard.
Yeah, I did that. It's actually Fizz Auto Sports in Chicago, but they're not going to accept you just sitting there. You had to take it in, and it was a thing, and it was really expensive. Like it was a thing. But people who know me, I usually don't spare any expenses on that.
I think
S-Box
the
line.
stitching they added is the coolest part.
Yes, the stitching is fantastic, and it works out.
Oh
really
man, Daniel Anderson, that's a car I regret not buying. A Suzuki Swift.
well. Oh yeah.
It's a 3-cylinder turbo manual tranny.
Oh yeah. Hey, there's a new all-wheel drive 3-cylinder manual tranny out there now. You can go pick up Corolla GR.
I'll
Yeah.
pass.
Cars I
yes.
regret not buying is Sonics, man. Like Randy's Sonic.
Oh yeah, you still haven't picked one of those up, have
No,
you?
I've regretted a few now, and I'm gonna get one. Don't worry. But dang, I do regret. There's been a couple Sonic deals that I've brushed off.
Yeah.
Cars I regret getting rid of. I still regret getting rid of my Spark.
No.
I regret,
No.
boys. I don't care. All right, the whole chat can fight me. I had a 2014, 2015 red first gen Spark 5-speed manual. I would be rolling gears. I can go through 3 gears full throttle, not break the speed limit. That was a miles per gallon car. I can put like $10 in that thing and drive for like a week. It was great. I loved that S-Box, and I want another one. I'm mad I got rid of
And
it.
in that 20 seconds,
In that 20
he was
seconds,
free.
I was free. Oh my God. I love that car. I still love that car.
Brad brings up a good point. We all regret not getting 90s JDM cars 10 years ago.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I would have bought
I actually wrote that down.
5240s.
Yeah.
I actually wrote that down. Yeah, a 240 SX, a Supra.
Imagine. Okay.
I would love a
I remember
240.
$20,000 Supras that had
Oh.
like 15,000 miles on them.
Remember, just think, if we had
See, I would have bought them and then sold them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine keeping a clean, non-molested manual 240 right now. You know how much money you would get for that thing?
So much because there aren't any.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the most molested car that you can
100%.
buy. I dare you to find more than one that is fully stock.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Stock
thing,
wheels, stock everything.
you're not going to find them.
I understand it's not even close to as extreme, but Cobalts and Grand Prix are getting to that point now.
Oh, yes. No, 100%. Like, by the time you got here, I was on the impression that every Grand Prix on the road was a rusted out crap box. Because so many, not to disrespect, but so many that come in here are just rusty and they're poorly taken care of from the 10 owners they've been through and stuff. But then you come see a nice one like Bo's car. I'm like, oh, they do exist. There's still nice ones out there, kind of
Well, I
thing.
think the
Yeah, and
last,
I was talking to Tim the other day, and I'm like, man, why do I have two 20-year-old W-Biters just parked in my garage all winter? Like, what am I doing? It's not a 69 Camaro or anything. And he's like, well, man, somebody's got to. And I'm like, you're right, somebody's got to.
No, and see, that's actually a good. I do
and it
wanna-
wasn't meant as an insult.
No, yeah.
Somebody really does have to.
I just want to touch on that for a while. So you'll see some comments, like for instance, I put my Cobalt up in the winter, but you'll see some comments like, "Oh, it's a Cobalt. You don't need to drive. You can drive it throughout the whole time. Oh, it's a Grand Prix. You can do it, whatever." And then they send some video of some rich guy with his, what are those freaking cool camshaftless cars called? I can't remember the name. Koenigsegg. His Koenigsegg driving through like the winter with it. He's like, yeah, look at this guy. If he can do it, you can. Well, that rich guy doesn't give a crap about his car. He's just some rich guy that has his car. And
He's only going to have it for a couple of years.
he's going to have it for a couple of years, so he doesn't give a crap about it. He's going to buy some of the newest, hottest thing out there anyway.
or he did it one time for the YouTube
Yeah.
likes. And
yeah,
too.
and he's not going to do it again. But, yeah, guys, like, don't shame people for wanting to keep their cars nice.
Yeah.
Like, I say that to everybody out here. Like, I don't care what kind of car you have. If you want to put up in the winter because you don't want to drive and you want to keep it nice and that's your baby car, take pride in that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't doubt anybody for, hey, I have a Sonic. It's my car. It's my first car that I bought brand new. I don't want to drive in the winter. I have another little whatever for it. Yeah, someone else's car can be, a Sonic could be their winter driver, but it doesn't mean yours has to be. Take pride in your stuff. No, there's no reason you don't have to.
we get so many comments of people saying why would you mod a Sonic?
Yeah.
Because it's slow, relatively.
Yeah.
But
And those people haven't owned one.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like me, I've owned a lot of really nice cars, and it's weird for me to admit it, but like my Sonic is one of my favorite cars, and it's like
Yeah.
the most S-boxy of, like econo-boxy, I should say, cars I've ever owned.
For respect to that, guys, Tim has bought a M6 like a BMW M6 with a
2016
V8,
M6.
2016 M6 was making like 700 horsepower. He's had like a bunch of crazy cars,
Well,
the
your
SL63.
garage now, you have more slow cars than fast cars.
I do.
The
Yeah.
V,
Yeah.
the base. Well, I guess you have L and F now.
I mean, that's
But-
only a little
The
more
V is
horsepower
not
than
a
my
slow car,
Sonic.
but
Yeah, no, the V is.
the V is not yet, but
Is
That's
V
the only fast one I have.
fast
yeah.
one?
But that's saying like it's just one of those things that every 22-year-old on that watches 13, 20 is like, oh, I'm gonna get a 900 horsepower this when I get older, or I'm gonna have 9,000. Man, these cars are slower. This X kind of car is slow. Like, yeah, guys, eventually you get tired of breaking stuff, and then you just enjoy beating the ever-living snot out of a slow car fast.
Yes, and to confirm Ryan, like, I enjoy beating the crap out of my, like, slower cars, kind of almost more than beating on my ATS-V. My ATS-V made over 800 wheel horsepower. And, like, every time I floor it, I would be scared that I'm either going to crash it, I'm going to blow it up. Like, I didn't really...
Or you're going to
I
jail.
didn't really... Or go to jail,
Yeah.
yes. So I didn't really love every second of having that car at that power level and driving it around. But then I get in my base model or my, Sonic, and, like, I just beat the heck out of them, and I don't really have to worry about
Yeah,
them.
it's cool. The 700, 800 horsepower ATS-V is cool when you're racing your buddy who has a 600 horsepower Corvette, and in those moments we out street racing, yeah, it's cool to swing it around and go racing and all that stuff. But there's something you can have. You can get a lot more miles per gallon on the base and
Yeah.
stuff. Without getting too much off topic, we can kind of steer back towards the topic now, as we go off on tangents. But back to the regrets of stuff. But yeah, I regret selling my Sonic. Fight me, it's the greatest little 3-cylinder crap box on the planet. If we ever get into, like, guys, I don't think you understand my desire to get a new white Spark, livery wrap it to match snow, and put gold Advans on it to be the, what do we call it? The SNOC, the Snow Spark.
I am
Let's
so in.
go.
I am so in.
I
This-
want it so bad.
What did we call that the other day?
It was the Snark.
the snark.
The Snark. I want it, guys. A white Spark that matched snow cars.
I'm so
I
in.
want it. I want it so
You would
bad.
have 3 identical color schemed cars.
That would be so sick.
I wish you would. You won't. You won't.
Don't. Tim, I'm trying not to be broke right now. I want one.
Like, I'm still mad that I'm the only spec base here.
You're going to be the only spec base. I told you back then, and I still would get spec base.
I love that car.
I think you single-handedly rose all the prices of the base models.
I might have.
Yeah, you probably
You
did.
ruined it.
Yeah, those things are not cheap anymore.
Might have had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Yep. What else? Like, what are there cars you guys regret either getting rid of? Like,
Oh, geez, so many.
I know.
Oh,
It's-
My
it's
S2000.
That's
I'm
a
going to
bigger
say that.
one.
No, I know it's your top.
My wild pre-runner Ranger. 3-linked and long. Yeah, that thing was freaking sweet.
okay, I can see.
missed that. Like, I've got my full-size F-150 that's long travel that I just don't like, but I loved the Ranger. The
Yeah.
Ranger was sweet.
That's what I say, Tim. You're just we all have our weird cars. Like, Tim's is a Ranger, mine's a Chevy Spark. Like,
Yeah.
we all got our weird cars. We just
I
like.
missed the blue Cobalt.
You really?
Nice.
The supercharged 2.4
Yeah.
auto?
It was just a good car.
Yeah.
It never did me wrong.
By the way, guys, he sold that car to a local person, so if we're out there looking like, man, it came back a little rougher than it was before.
Yeah, it's lived a hard life,
It's
but
lived a
it's
hard life.
trucking.
Wow, I am thoroughly surprised you missed that car.
I don't want it back, but you know what I mean?
Oh, really? Oh, man, I would love to have a couple of my cars back.
If it wasn't an auto, that was the big thing.
That's still the only Cobalt I haven't owned. I feel like one day I have to own that one. The car I actually do regret the most, though, was my 05 base model, because that was my first car. So I've had a 05 L61, my 07 LSJ, and my 09 LNF, and I regret the base model the most. Granted, it was a good learning car, but I made a lot of mistakes on that car, and it was just the first Cobalt that came around. I thought it was going to be like, I can make it cool. I'm going to transform it to an SS. I'm one of those 18, 19-year-olds that, yeah, no. What about you, Broseph?
Oh, I definitely regret selling the Grand Prix, but I was in a crunch at the time and had to get a house.
Oh, yeah.
and
Guys, Bo's Grand Prix is...
I would love if that thing was just still sitting in the garage under a cover, and I could just drive it to work on Fridays. And
Yeah, that's the problem with all these cars we wish we could have back. We would just park them. Like,
yeah, man, it's just.
I hate to admit it, but yeah.
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 Like, there's something weird about that car. Like, I haven't had a car that made me feel like that car did since. And it sounds really silly because it's just a Grand Prix, but when I was younger, I always wanted a two-door special edition red Grand Prix GTP, and I had it. And
You did?
I don't know what it was when I'd get in that car and drive it. It was just like,
It was a
kind
car.
of feel like Superman.
I'm
Kinda like
gonna-
when you get in snow,
Yeah, it just
And,
you feel good.
I haven't had that feeling since, and it bugs me a lot some days, I think. And
Which is crazy to me because the Moose is amazing. Like it's
Yeah.
just this amazing car that it's probably my top 2 or 3.
I like
3800s.
driving the Moose because I know it's way better than that Grand Prix, but it's just not the Grand Prix.
I
And-
feel you.
And the problem is too is it's gone now. And I see two-door red special editions pop up maybe once a year, and they're like $6,000 and 12 hours away. But
I'm gonna comment on something. Elite on the B says Cobalt SS is still way slower than the stock ATS. Incorrect. The LNF is about as fast, if not slightly faster, than a rear drive ATS. If you're talking about all-wheel drive one, the all-wheel drive gets a little bit of a kick, but the ATS is kind of heavy for what it is. It's like 3,500 pounds.
Mod for mod, a Cobalt's a
Yeah.
murder in ATS.
Yeah.
Like you're talking
Sorry.
bolt-ons in a tune.
Oh yeah, the LNF
Yeah,
Cobalt all day.
like, come on.
Guys, the Cobalt weighs 2,900 pounds versus the ATS, which weighs 33 to 35,000 pounds, 3,500 pounds. And then mod for mod, yeah, it's ATS is a nicer finish car. I have them both, but a 450 horsepower ATS is not as quick as a 450 horsepower LNF or LSJ. It's just not.
You say that all the time about your cars.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the
Oh.
most tame 400.
Yeah, no, my ATS, it's a manual. Like, it kind of gets a little right. Like, really, the most fun I've had racing that car is actually racing Tim. Like, when we're not supposed to, when he's in his V and I know I'm going to lose, but I'm like, here we go. That's, like, the most fun I have with it. But it's like, it doesn't ever feel like it has the power that it does. And it's consistent on the dyno. Like, I forget, it beats cars. I think the Cobalt's the outlier because the Cobalt's
Yeah.
just fast for what it is.
Yeah.
But, like, it beats cars with similar power and all the other stuff. So it's great. I love my ATS.
Because your cars are 150 to 200 horsepower apart, technically.
Yeah.
But they
yeah.
feel like 500 horsepower
Oh,
difference.
God, the ATS feels so much slower than that.
Yeah, the ATS is a very smooth transitional power car to where the Cobalt is just
Violent,
Yeah, it's violent.
crazy.
yeah,
Like, old school terms would be like, the Cobalt just feels like a big block.
Yeah, it just does. It's
You hit the throttle, it blows the tires off.
Yeah.
Blows the tires off to rev limiter. ATS isn't doing that.
It's-
Torque
it's-
steering all over the place.
oh yeah, it's just
ATS is a very underwhelming 400 horsepower.
oh yeah, it doesn't
Like they're quick, you're moving out, you're beating stuff, but it doesn't like
It doesn't
give
feel
you
like
that
it.
like holy cow.
yeah, it's just very tame. But that's how we've had people in other markets. We have a friend Taylor Lear for CCO Performance. He tunes 2,000 horsepower GTRs, and he says his 650 horsepower Iron Redline is still his most fun car because they're the cars that feel so tame and smooth. Like they're
Yeah.
making way more power than it, but he's like the Iron just feels
Even
better.
my M6.
Yeah.
That car was super tame, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't violent.
yeah.
It was misleadingly fast.
Yeah.
Actually, a perfect example of that is
Oh yeah, Kate loves your ATS.
oh, Kate loved it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like Kate got to ride and drive a little bit. It was great. I'm sure she'll get the chance to again in April. But actually a perfect example of we raced my car full weight still. I think not Kitsy in the back at that time, but I raced Noah and his LNF. And that was the day you still had your SL63. You raced Noah and SL63 too. But my ATS making 400 even at the time. It was making a lot less power than it was. Z54 versus Noah's stock turbo Cobalt. It was a dead even race until I hit fifth gear. And then at fifth gear, I started to just walk away from it. But it was
I'll say the
dead
same
even.
thing about Noah's Cobalt because that car's still sub 350 with that KO4.
Yep.
And he was the best race I had all summer long in the Regal. Like, and I make 100 more horsepower than him, but that
Yep.
LNF just moves out. And it's got an F40, and he was no lift shifting it. But when I raced him, we did a roll and a dig, and that LNF surprised me both times in the
Yeah.
Regal. And I was just like, of course I got Noah, but it was like
Gotta make
it
sure
was
it's
like
not
a beautiful, just like door on door race. And
Yeah.
those LNFs, man.
It's just quick and like they're light and they don't really.
They do just break the rules.
They do.
Like you put
It
it
really
on
does.
paper, it doesn't make sense.
Nope.
They're just fast.
It's just a fast car.
Real
So,
efficient, real efficient.
But yeah, so that is, again, the ATS and stuff. It doesn't feel as fast. It is making the power. Like obviously, on the dyno, it's making the power, but it's just, it's all Cadillac and cushy and stuff. But I guess that's what the upper echelon of stuff is. It just makes sense to go that fast.
And I think, like, going back to the topic here quick,
Yeah, sorry. No,
all of
we
us
should-
have that nostalgia card for the
Yes.
Delta cars.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more people do because last 2 years, I think is the first time we've seen them go up in value.
Yeah.
If it's a clean one.
Yeah. Stop tearing them apart for goblins. Stop it.
Didn't we just see a
Stop.
Or
sedan
Fieros.
sell
Or
for-
Fieros, both of them, guys. Guys like, oh, the Goblin's cool and this and that, whatever. The Cobalt is literally getting more rare because you guys keep ripping them apart for cars you can only drive on nice weather days. And Paul, you're listening to, sorry, and don't diss your Goblin, but you're tearing apart a good car for a Goblin.
Goblins are terrible.
I don't like them. Sorry,
I-
Goblin
I
guys.
still want a Fiero.
I know you do.
I
You're
still
weird.
do.
You're just weird.
They're neat.
They're
Okay,
just-
bucket list of events you would like to attend
Oh,
a racing.
that's a good one. Yeah, we'll end on that.
So,
I
I got a few.
bucket list race.
I mean, I'll start. I basically want to hit all of the big road course tracks that I can.
Okay.
So, like, I still need to hit Grattan, like, full course. I've been to Grattan a whole bunch of times, but it's always been an autocross setup on the road course.
And I
You
know
know-
you have a dream, like the car side of it is like a full aero, full time attack,
Yeah.
gutted car.
Oh yeah,
someday,
Tim.
too.
Like
Yeah.
me and Tim have talked about. Like Tim wants to do like a RX-7 or a new Super, like full, Pandem wide body, like full. Just go. I would love to see Tim go full balls out, snowball level and above on a mod car. I
We're
would
getting
love it.
close.
Or
We're
a
getting
base
close.
model.
I would say. I would
Tim's
say,
about a year away from the Sonic being there.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to decide what the full race car is going to be, and in the Sonic, like, I like that car so much, and it's going to be like I want to get like a daily driver here soon, and like when I have like a nice daily driver, then it's like, okay, what do I do with the Sonic? Okay, let's race the living crap out of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I already know what to do from what Tyler and Al did to our LTZ. So I know like what weighs what and what to go after for weight, and
Yeah.
Pete, hold on,
be
Pete,
trouble.
people are coming after Ryan Derrick right now. Tyler, I don't know if you have a Goblin dog, but yeah, I don't care about, like, I've already done the fasting. By the way, still, no one's beat my LNF half mile time, just saying. I've already done the whole fasting. I don't want to drive around in a gutted, absolute, nothing driving experience
I don't
car.
want to have to put goggles on to drive around.
Correct. I'm sorry.
thing.
Like, the Goblin, it just doesn't, it does nothing for
They
me.
don't handle well.
They don't really handle well.
They handle terrible for their weight.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some goblins turning impressive times, but the thing weighs half of a Cobalt.
Yeah.
So it better. And let me tell you, they don't turn times comparable to like the weight loss that they have.
Yeah, like an Aero Atom or something like that. They're still crazy.
yeah.
Like,
Like-
I don't know, man. Like, it's just,
You can't just put front suspension in the back and it'll work. Like
Yeah.
there's science in that, right? Like,
Yeah, like I don't know, like like you see the videos like of Justin Reed stuff going out there with 650 Goblin.
Yeah.
That thing is fast AF. That is cool to watch. Don't want to do it.
Yeah, I
Been there,
mean,
done that. I want fiberglass and metal around me. Screw all that. Screw all the rest of all the other stuff. I want a car, and to me, a car doing that stuff is just so much cooler. And I like the interior, like listening to music. Like I love music. And Tim is a bigger audio head than me. Like he knows about all like the volume and equalizing and stuff. I don't know. I like listening to music and have fun. Like it gets me in the mood. It gets like all the the serotonin in the brain
Yeah.
moving. Like I like to drive and listen to
Ryan
cool
gets
music.
rapping out the windows.
Oh, I
and
can
stuff.
start rapping out the window. Like you turn her song, put it on. I'll get out the window at you, talking some stuff. I get pumped. Music is half the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I like AC and I like heat. I
Yeah.
like a windshield indoors. And I don't want to take anything away from like Justin Reed or
his
even
car's cool.
or even Paul's beautiful
Yeah.
Goblin.
Yeah.
Like that
They're
new
sweet.
wrap that Paul did.
They're
oh my
fantastic.
gosh, that thing is beautiful. I still hate Goblins.
Yeah, I don't.
He has the short wheelbase
Yeah.
version. Like it took how long did it? Well, you weren't there. You weren't there.
Wasn't sorry. My bad. My bad.
I'm rolling my,
bad.
eyes for Ryan.
bad. Yeah,
Bo
that's my
was
fault.
there. It took me like what 3 minutes to get
I can't
in
do anything.
and out of Paul's Goblin. Like I
It is
can't.
difficult. It's difficult.
Like maybe a long wheelbase version I might be able to like maybe drive, but no thanks. I'll pass. I'll just take a Cobalt.
Yeah,
And
just-
I love my Cobalts. I love my base model.
Yep.
The thing is awesome to drive. I hope the sedan is gonna knock my socks off and everybody else's.
Yeah.
Hopefully on road course.
Bucket
I can't
list-
wait. Like
bucket list-
let's do some road course with
Yeah.
a sedan Cobalt.
Let's
I
go.
just can't wait.
I hope you.
It will be cool to see you and Noah out there.
Yeah, I
That's
was
what I'm
gonna say,
saying.
that's what
You-
you're
this
going
is
for,
like,
isn't it?
You do Noah's exact build, and you go out there and fight Noah. That's gonna be sweet.
The problem is Noah sticks with autocross tracks. And he is quicker than me at tight autocross tracks.
You and I, we all know Noah here. If you challenge him, if you say, come out to Gingerman, I'll gap you, he's coming to Gingerman. He's coming to Gingerman. So
That's going to be a good video.
My bucket list.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
In the Regal, I do need to road course it. Road course it some.
I want to see it once.
Yeah, for sure. I do need to do that, but I just really want to run Rocky Mountain Race Week with it. I want to get a little trailer for it. I want to take my tires and my tools, and I want to run the 12.0 class because I think I could run Rocky Mountain Race Week and win the 12.0 class very easily in that car. As it sits nearly.
I agree.
I just want to just drive through the Rocky Mountains in it, pulling a trailer and go racing every track out there and just having a whole week of doing nothing but driving and drag racing the Buick. Because especially after this year with the mods I'm going to do, 12.0 will be certainly obtainable. Yeah, I ran 12.0 5 times in a row last year at Streetcar Takeover as it sits, and it's going to be, I'll be able to run 12.0 easily now, where 12.0 was on kill.
Yeah.
And that's just what I want to do with it right now. And then as soon as I do that, there's tons of road course plans I have for it. There's always transmissions options I have for it, but as of right now, that's the bucket list for the Regal.
Nice. 2 things I want to hit on real quick just in the chat. Recently ordered Gen 2 buy from LNF. Actually, right there, look for a tuner. You're literally at the place, dog. Get HP tuners, buy our tune, we'll remote tune you. HP tuners, people. Do it.
Yep.
Do it. Elite on the beat. I don't know how, unless your Cobalt stock and your ATS is not stock, that is even possible. Your Cobalt should be massively faster.
It might be an LSJ. He didn't specify.
If it's an LSJ, then I mean, one's turbo, one's not. But if it's an actual LNF with a tune on it versus an ATS with a tune on it, LNF's going to beat it.
One thing I'd be curious on, and I haven't seen this, is let's say a Cobalt SS and a ATS on a road course with comparable mods. So let's say both have decent tires, both have
because the Cobalt's got power, but the ATS chassis.
The ATS chassis is that. I will say on that one, I would give it to the ATS hands down.
You think so?
Yep.
Because the Cobalt's hundreds of pounds lighter.
It's lighter, but
it still has a power advantage. I don't give a crap what anybody says. A Cobalt's going to make more power than an ATS mod.
The suspension setup on the ATS and the Alpha chassis is just that much better. I think
Tyler's Camaro on Gingerman versus Noah's Cobalt. I think Tyler edges him out normally.
By a good amount, yeah.
And that was stock turbo.
Yep. When he was stock turbo, that's kind of a perfect example.
Yeah,
it is.
Tyler, I believe, has still faster times than Noah does. But granted, they're both mid 140s and stuff. But again, mod for mod, stock turbo. I think Noah gets him on the straightaways in the Camaro. But
I would bet too that Tyler has more consistent average times than Noah's too.
Also, remember, Alpha Chess has tire advantage too.
Yeah.
They always have tire advantage because Max, you can run on a Cobalt maybe 255s if you're being nice, maybe, versus
tire width per weight is probably comparable.
I would be probably comparable, but in the rear, again, on my ATS, I'm running 275s in the rear.
You don't need that on a road course.
Not necessarily.
Not if you're not going to have that on the front.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but actually it would be better if they were closer. But so it's 245, 275, but I'll never lose traction back there on a road course or on a 200 treadwear. So it's one of those things.
Yeah, the corner exit might.
Yeah.
What'd you run on yours? 255 squared?
On my ATSV?
Yeah.
265 square.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, dude, ain't no Cobalt touching the ATSV.
No.
That thing was a goddamn monster.
No, I was a terrible driver and still, hit 139 at Gingerman.
Yeah.
With tires.
Mm-hmm.
Tires in a mild grid life rule tune.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
I can't even imagine what that would be capable. I mean, that might be a car at some point. I wouldn't mind buying, maybe way down the line,
a salvage title.
A salvage title ATSV gutted.
Yeah,
I think would be one hell of a contender at grid life.
Don't we have one of those?
Oh, yeah, we actually do.
It's got the wrong transmission.
That's a transmission.
I don't think so. I think
yes,
Bo, I love my manual trannies, but on a road course sometimes that's too much crap to deal with.
Yep.
Yeah, especially with the paddles.
With that much power.
789 in my ATSV, you're pinned and you're like, man, I should shift, but I can't let off. I'm that's a sweeper section, and you can't let off anywhere through there. So it's just like, we're going to 7,500, I guess,
Yep.
because I can't let off, I can't shift. If it was an auto, you might be able to, maybe.
But you're doing this, and it's just the advantage. My personal bucket list one, I would love to take snow car, not to race, but to go there just to be a part of the event with one of the Texas 2Ks. I still would love to go down there, see that, bring a little bit different spice down there, because obviously the snow car isn't, what?
We're good.
Okay, a snowball isn't like, it's not gonna be like 2,000 horsepower crazy GTR racing or anything like that. But it'd be out to be something different. It's quick on its own still, and like it'd be something just a little bit of different spice.
That's something we should talk about and plan for, because a kind of a dream of mine is to take my HSV there.
Yeah,
If I had the Zonas on it, making 800 wheel,
that'd be a
and
mean car.
gutted it, I think that car would be neat to bring to
Oh,
Texas 2K.
Because remember, we raced the other older HSV in Chicago, and we did real well for it, like being full of two people, full of wheels and everything.
Yeah.
We did real well.
Yeah, mine was almost 3,800 pounds, and I ran 10.3 with like a 156 60 foot.
Oh, no.
If I could get my car into the 140s 60 foot, making 800 wheel instead of the 600 wheel it was before, that would barely be fast enough to go to Texas 2K and like get some love.
Yeah, for sure. Like
The problem is those streetcar classes nowadays are running like
they're like 1,200 horsepower.
they're running
UGR.
like sevens.
Yeah.
Like streetcar. It has lights. It has, it can idle for 15 minutes. Perfect.
And then you can drive it. You can drive from the parking spot to the
And
lane.
then-
And it's a
And-
compound turbo,
Yeah.
freaking 7-liter LS. Like,
yeah.
I get it. I would imagine they have some kind of class I can
should just look it
could
up.
do in.
Yeah.
I think, man, Al would have to chime in, and I haven't seen him chime in, so he must be busy. But I would assume I would end up running in a manual tranny class, which would give me a teeny tiny chance of like doing anything.
Because then you have to worry about manual older CTSVs
Yeah.
and all that. Hey, my street car makes 1,900 horsepower. I can't put anything besides this one type of gas in it at all
Yeah.
times. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
You run the manual training class, and then they pull you up next to Cletus.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like some stupid like
Well, shoot.
that. But
still, it's a V6.
yeah,
So, I mean, regardless, if I lose to a 7-second LS vehicle, it's like,
Whatever.
well,
Duh.
this is a V6.
It's a V6
Like,
with
I
two-turbo.
guarantee the announcer is going to be like, well, that's a V6, and it ran,
Well, also,
you know,
it's
No, he'll call it a
9.0 or
CTSV.
something.
yeah,
He'll call it a
it's actually a street car.
He would.
He would actually do that. But it's actually be a street car too. Like
Yeah.
something you actually drive on the street. You can drive back from Texas there.
Yeah, they
but
might have some full interiors, something.
but I would like to just to go to a Texas 2K event, just to hone around and
Just
see
to
what's-
hear things,
Yeah,
too,
just hear
man.
things and go with some friends. That'd be sweet. I don't know. It's not feasibly possible, but I would love to like get somewhere I can take the snow car and do like Japan stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think that car would like go to a Wreckfest over there, drive around, it'd just be cool.
Ship it over and
Just
drive
ship
around.
it over and drive around. I would love to do it. Can never happen. Not feasible. But I just think that would be really freaking cool to do. But yeah,
My wife and I, she has a bucket list of wanting to go to Japan, and I'm like, I'm in, but I do have a request.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if we go to Japan, I want to rent a race car.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Suzuki or
just
Yeah.
Tsuba.
yeah,
Tsuba?
Tsukuba.
Yeah.
However you say it.
Crap, I
You guys
just
know
drew a
what we're
blank,
talking
but-
about.
But I want, like, with all my Gran Turismo hours on that track,
Oh,
like,
you gotta go.
I need to go
You
there.
gotta go. I'm saying
go
like
there.
I would love to go to Japan. A realistic one is one of the Texas 2K events, and then I would like to hit every road course at some point in time.
Yeah.
What, just every?
As many as I can. See all like not everyone on the planet, but like all
Ryan?
the big name one.
Road Atlanta the second time brought a tear to my eye. I was on race course and there were like tears running down my
That's
face,
right.
and I'm like, wow, like that is
Yeah.
an experience. Like,
For sure. For sure.
got to definitely Road
So-
America's amazing. Like, Road Atlanta is amazing. Both
Yep.
those race courses are amazing, and there are plenty more like Black Hawk Farms I want to get to. I
I'm scared of
that's
Black Hawk.
a scenic.
Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to go there.
I want to see. I need to see it. Everybody says it's a scenic track.
Oh yes, I hear it looks really good.
And then there's quite a few. There are tracks I didn't even know that are like within
Yeah.
6 hours of us, and I'm like, oh, wow.
wow.
Like,
What about you, Trevor? What are some events? I mean, like you're kind of in and out of the car stuff a little
Yeah.
bit, but you have a cool car. Like, what are some things you like to do? Because, well, actually, no. One of my bucket list things is I'll be doing with Trevor. Probably not this year, but maybe next year, or maybe this year.
You'll probably know this one. Well, you know me. I could change every
Final
15
bout.
minutes.
I want to go to Final Bout, which is this cool drift event. I got to go with Snow
Yep.
Car. That
My
is cool.
answer right now on the spot. Final bout E36 LSJT.
Ooh.
That'd be the dream right there.
Yeah, I'm
That
in.
would be sweet.
I'm in. You had one.
I know.
He's had like 5.
I missed that one. I missed that one a lot.
Which
You
the
had
last
one.
one, the teal one?
All of them.
Oh,
You had one. We could have had an LSJ here for like $400, and then a turbo, and then just a custom intercooler and one.
And
I'm
then-
so in.
Well, we're in there, this and that, and
ported head cams.
I'm so in for ZZP transplant into a different body car. I'm in.
yeah.
no, we
Man.
do need to do it.
we need a good adapter plate
We need-
trans setup.
We
just-
gotta get a standalone setup,
Well,
which you can do.
You could T56 it.
yeah.
Kappa bell housing onto a T56. Boom.
That'd
done.
actually be a really good setup.
Or the TR6060 ATSV tranny. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have
which
options.
is a glorified T56.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we all got our events down.
That's about it.
Bucket list of mods that you
Yep.
hope to do to your own. I mean, I don't know if that's.
Yeah, we don't want to hear your
Oh my
12-page
God.
mod list.
Yeah, my
still.
12 page.
Yeah.
Well,
We
let's
gave
see.
you guys some
SSR
overtime.
SP3.
We started a little late, so we did a little overtime
Little
for you.
overtime.
But
Oh wait, no, we do have to do. What are we doing over the weekend?
real quick, rapid fire.
F1, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a race this weekend.
Yeah. Sunday morning.
Team Mercedes, go Louis. Okay. Screw you, Max. I hope Tim Cooley. Hope you listen. We don't like Max Verstappen. No, I don't like Max. No, he's good. I can't deny it.
Sainz for the win.
Oh yeah,
Ferrari.
Team Ferrari there. So what are you doing?
Helping my little sister. They
Move?
bought a house. So
Alright,
we're helping
alright.
them move in. Yeah.
Nice. Finally. Oh, she's the one. She lives like right next to you, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah. That one.
All by myself now.
That's fine. What about you, Bocop?
Taking it easy, shoveling some snow, and I got a birthday party.
Oh crap! I forgot about snow this weekend.
Yeah,
we're
we're
about to get
getting
a lot of
around
snow.
it tonight.
For me, I gotta go to Chicago tomorrow for like an hour in the Sonic to for like a birthday party. So gonna do that. Take my son with me. Come back. Hopefully get D&D time in. Gotta get D&D every single weekend. And probably do some snow blowing. I gotta get gas for it though because I don't. Yeah. Oof.
Real quick, Chad Leaguer, NIC cam swap is not going to do anything. Just put an intercooler on it already, sir.
Oh God, guys, 300 people, put intercoolers on your crap. Jesus
Every
Christ.
performance car that's boosted has an intercooler on it.
Yeah, just get a freaking
Lateral
Intercooler.
move to swap cams, man.
William Kiss is cleaning his sled. Why was he cleaning his sled, Bo?
Yeah, I got to clean mine too.
Ooh, Rudy Sue. Email ryan.dzperformance.com. I play Gundam Evolution almost every day. If you play Exia, though, I don't want to play with you. But yeah, I play that game every day. Ryan.dzperformance.com. I'm on Steam. Hit me up. Let's play some video games. I'm probably going to play tonight with my buddy. We're going to go in 2 or 3 deep.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, guys. On that note, thanks for
Have a good
hanging
weekend,
out.
guys. Thanks.
We'll see you next week. Feel free to kill it, Mike.
LE 2 parts. Oh, shh. Be quiet. Give me LE 2 parts.
Let us know when we're good. Sweet.